How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Limps, and I finally got Kopaka 2016, so I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly unbox it, build it, and then probably review it. I'm very excited. I cannot wait. Well, now that he's all built, let's go ahead and just talk about them. Let's go ahead and start off with the creature of ice itself. He's a very simple build. He's just a little thing. Of course, he's meant to resemble a polar bear, but of course with the heads, all the creatures pretty much have the same head. He is a neat little build, and he has a cool function. He has the tail here. Just go ahead and pull down on that, and his claws come together. Move his head up a bit, and they do that. He claps. It is neat. I like how they incorporated that, and it looks kind of cool. Although with like his actual build, it looks pretty like, I like that they're including more Technic pieces, but it's almost feeling like they're clashing with the CCBS, mostly because like you can see the whole function here. I mean, with the gearbox that they had in 2015 for the Toa, well, for the Masters or in the Andakimu, it was kind of better hidden. Here you kind of straight up see the gears, which it depends on whether you like that sort of aesthetic look. I mean, it looked cool in the old Bionicle, but it almost sort of clashes with CCBS, in my opinion at least. He's got a very thin neck, and of course, like, I know the head is meant to go over the Toa's head, but it just looks a little weird as a creature himself, and he has the exposed ball joints here. But then he's very solid, and he's actually my favorite part of this because they just look cool, and he claps. He's a little polar bear. Now let's get on to Kopaka. Well, originally when I saw the images of 2016 Kopaka, I was sort of disappointed. I felt like he looked way too Hero Factory and not enough Bionicle, but upon building it, it's almost too Bionicle. Again, I almost feel like the CCBS clashes with the Technic, but that's up to you whether you like it or not. Now, I will say, I really dislike these arms. At first it seemed like, you know, we're going to get some more complex builds, at least with the arms and the torso. The torso, I think it was going in a good direction, but the shoulder piece up here and then the connection to the back I really dislike, just because it's only, if you can see here, it's only held onto the main torso through the axle there, through the short axle there, and then another axle connecting to the old hand piece, and then connects to the arm. The arm itself is fine, but the connection here is pretty bad. It could have been better enforced, but it wasn't. I mean, in the end, it's fine, but I really just dislike it. It poses just fine. As for the legs are solid, except I dislike the friction pieces here. Makes for difficult posing, but in the end, it's fine. Now, onto the waist thing. Now, yeah, that was really squeaky. The first few times it's real squeaky. I mean, in the end, it looks pretty neat. It's good to have sort of the Rakshi / Vaki? Yeah, Vaki thing going on there. It's neat because it works with the swords and everything. But originally, I guess I didn't figure out that it snapped at first when I was building it. You may have seen that, but in the end, it works fine. I really do actually like that, sort of as opposed to the gearbox making their arms move, because that got a little tedious in posing when you're posing them and posing their arms. Here the arms pose just fine, both of them, And then with the waist poses just fine. It holds in place very well, and it actually allows for some good rotation along the waist. So that's a great new point of articulation there. And of course, I like that it has a little holster for the ammo. I really dislike his sword here, because I mean it's a cool looking sword, and I do like that it's pretty neat, but I of course dislike how pretty much all of them are using these exact same pieces, just in different colors. I mean, at least they change the colors and kind of do something different with each set. But I really would have liked some unique weapons. And I mean, Kopaka 2015 sort of suffered in the way that he had to share his ice shield with Tahu, and then his spear on top of that wasn't a new piece. And then also with Gali and Liwa sharing the fin piece, and then of course Liwa and Tahu sharing the mini sword. I would have liked, I mean, back then they did the unique weapons a lot better, but it's all the same piece here in 2016. And that I really dislike. The gun here, it's fine. I mean, it works. If I can get a good, there we go. It works just fine, and they scatter everywhere, so I'm gonna have to find those now. But I mean, like the handgun with the shield and everything, that's just fine for Kopaka. I mean, he doesn't look as cool as I thought he would. Well, I mean, he looks better than I thought he would upon after seeing the original. But in the end, I don't think it holds up to Kopaka 2015. Actually, let me go ahead and compare. Have him right here. Now, of course, 2016 is meant to take a different turn, but I feel like 2015, aesthetically, I feel like it looks better, especially in some of the other sets, if you may have seen them, like Pohatu especially. I mean, even though he was pretty much the worst 2015, 2016, it's pretty terrible. But in the end, I feel like this is a good upgrade. There's a sense of upgrade. I kind of dislike how Kopaka had, I mean, people were split on whether the gold was cool or not. I really like the gold, but then he's downgraded here to only having it on his knees, so it looks even weirder. And I mean, of course he has the golden mask, but it just feels a bit odder. See, when you put the golden mask on Kopaka 2015, everything blended a lot better, but with 2016, it's meh. I almost feel like it would have been neat to maybe have silver masks for more silver characters, but I don't know. Either way, 2016 holds up pretty well. It has its problems and some dislikes, but it's a pretty solid set, especially for the fact that he comes with the and I'm bad for forgetting this name. He comes with a little polar bear guy, and in fact, let's go ahead and see what they look like combined. Overall, I think the combo model looks pretty sick. Well, good. Although I will say that having a little polar bear on your back and then having his paws come over to be your shoulder armor it doesn't work as well as, well, I mean, I guess it works the best it could, but it doesn't really work out. I mean, thankfully it does kind of even it out with some more nice transparent blue and the gold. So at least the gold is back. Now up close, just pretty much putting his head over the head. It looks kind of derpy because it's a little hard to pose exactly because we're working with ball joints here and then trying to line it up with another ball joint there. See, when you put it there, it kind of bounces back unless you get a good thing going there. And even still, it kind of, I mean, it's fine. In the end, it's fine. It's pretty clunky. Of course, you have to move his feet back, or they can kind of rest on this hip. But if you want to keep the hip movement, you're gonna have to move his hands up there, or no, sorry, his feet up there, so your hands can get in and go ahead and do the Rakshi. Yes, that's what this dance is called. This dance is called the Rakshi. In the end, it's a good set. Yeah, see, see. I just moved them a bit, and then it became misaligned. Oh, I also forgot to mention the back. I like that the eye stalk doesn't protrude out as much. It's given a weird bumpy design to sort of fit with the weird spiky haired mask, but at least you're not going to knock off the mask as easily as before if that was a problem for you. And anyway, if they did have that, at least he would be protecting this if you stuck him on the back. The combo is pretty solid. I mean, for the most part, they look cool on all the Toa, but they look especially cool on Kopaka because he's the Toa. But that was a bad pun. Overall, from just this one set, 2016 is looking pretty good. It's feeling like a decent follow-up to 2015, but I don't know. Personally, I like 2015 a little better, but we're just gonna have to see where the rest of this goes, what kind of villains we get, how the story progresses, and then how we end up feeling about these sets over time, because our opinions definitely will change over time. I'm much more fond of 2015 Kopaka now than I was when I first bought him, so who knows, maybe in a few months I'll be a lot more fond of 2016 Kopaka. Either way, like I said, I think it's a good follow-up, and I'm probably going to be getting some more of the other sets to test them out, see how they feel, see how the Technic with the CCBS is integrated into the other sets. Anyway, if you'd like to see more of this, just let me know. I definitely like to be producing a lot more Bionicle content. Which reminds me, by chance, if you're new, go ahead and drop a sub. I do Bionicle content every time new products are released. So again, I'm going to be doing the books later this week, and maybe some of the other sets throughout this week or throughout this month. Just whatever I happen to pick up. I had to pick up Kopaka first because he's my favorite Toa from everything. In 2016, I definitely would like to do a lot more Bionicle stuff. Possibly even some discussions similar to what I've done for Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I will be picking up as well. 2016, I am bringing back discussions a lot more and just going to be in a bit more full force. So if you'd like to see some Bionicle stuff like that, let me know and stick around for the ride, see how it goes. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment to show your support. This has been King of Pharaoh Imps. Have an ice day. Oh gosh, the puns.